One of the things that I find everywhere I go in the Commonwealth, regardless of the area, is economic anxiety. People are feeling squeezed. They're feeling squeezed between lost jobs, fewer hours being worked, 28 hours instead of 40 hours, often because of the mandates and the regulations in the Affordable Care Act, Obamacare. They're feeling squeezed between stagnant wages and higher prices for healthcare, which premiums are skyrocketing as a result of Obamacare. For energy, the price of a gallon of gas is about double what it was when Mark Warner took office, initially saying that he was going to vote to bring down energy prices and food. And what I'm doing is running on an agenda of economic growth and policies that would ease the squeeze that hardworking Virginians are feeling right now, and to make it easier for unemployed Virginians to find work. For every one net job created, 3 people have left the workforce entirely. And we have the lowest labor force participation rate in over 35 years. And that's why I say I worry that their policies, the policies of President Obama and Senator Warner, are not just killing U.S. jobs, they may be destroying the American work ethic. We've had people leave the workforce and not come back into it. I hope we can change that, and that we can, incentivize work and get people back into the workforce. People want to work. There's not just economic value in labor, there's human dignity in work.
Right.
And my policies would incentivize work and give people that dignity again, give them that opportunity. Yeah, well, first of all, I have a very positive agenda. And people want to know what I'm for, not just what I'm against. I'm happy to hold Mark Warner accountable for his record, as we've talked about a little bit here today. But I also have this 5-point economic growth agenda. We call it EG squared, Ed Gillespie's agenda for economic growth. If you're for economic growth, you're for Ed Gillespie. And it begins with replacing Obamacare with policies that work, with more market-oriented reforms that would allow us to keep the insurance we like and the doctor we trust, would hold down healthcare costs, would not destroy jobs and limit people's hours to 28 hours a week, hourly wage workers, as we're seeing 2.5 million fewer workers in the workforce over the next decade, according to the Congressional Budget Office, as a result of the disincentives to work in Obamacare. We just saw last week, the insurers here in Virginia came forward with requests for more rate increases on top of rate increases we've already had as a result of meeting the requirements and the mandates. Talked to a small business owner today, and he's not sure how he's going to. He's got sticker shock. He can't believe what he just got as what he needs to cover his 13 employees, and doesn't think he can afford to do it. And so we're seeing that all across Virginia. So the first thing is to replace Obamacare with policies that work. The second thing is to unleash American energy, and it begins with stopping the war on coal. We need to lift the moratorium on development off of our deep sea coast here in the Commonwealth, which has been in place since Mark Warner took office. We need to move forward with the Keystone XL pipeline, which he has voted to block moving forward that on the Senate floor, despite saying he's for it. And I also think we need to lift the antiquated ban on export of our domestically produced liquefied natural gas and domestic crude oil as well. So, and then the third thing is we need tax and regulatory relief. We have the highest corporate tax rate in the world, and it's forcing investment overseas instead of here in the United States. U.S. companies purchasing foreign companies are then becoming foreign companies, moving their headquarters out of the United States to other countries. And we need regulatory relief because these regulations, this red tape, constant stream of it coming out of Washington, D.C. are killing small businesses. And, we have more businesses closing than opening today in the United States, and making it harder for major employers to hire more. And then the last 2 points are we need education reform, which I do see as an economic growth initiative. And we need to empower parents and students over teachers' unions. And the fifth point is we've got to cut wasteful Washington spending. It's time. It's out of control, and we need to cut wasteful spending and balance our budget again. I believe if we did these things, we could double our economic growth rate, which is flat, kind of an anemic 2% on average since coming out of this recession. If we had a 4% economic growth rate, that would mean 10 million new jobs would be created in our economy. That would mean 3 million of our fellow Americans would be lifted out of poverty. And it would mean that we could reduce our deficit by a third.